everybody, happy 2023. I don't know if I can still say that. I know we're already like a bit of the way into the year already in February, but yes, I'm late to the party. But anyways, happy 2023 everyone. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Grace Nondekombe, and yeah, my YouTube channel is based on faith, wellness and lifestyle related topics. So welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please do press the subscribe button. And at the end of this video, if you do find it helpful, please do give it a thumbs up. I'll appreciate that. Right, so I've been away from here for a while. I have missed shooting and like talking and interacting with everyone. So yeah, I've been away for a while. Life update: I was away because I was pregnant and had a baby, and he's almost 4 months old now. So that's why you haven't seen me on here in a while. Yes, but thank God for safe delivery and a happy and healthy baby. I'm grateful. And yeah, with that, today's video will be on the topic of motherhood. So this is something that's very close to my heart. I love being a mom, and I've always wanted to make a video around motherhood, but sometimes I was like, okay, I've only got one little girl. That was before my son. Now only got one little girl, so am I like experienced enough to talk about this? So now I have two kiddies. They're both really young, but yeah, I feel like I can give my 2 cents around motherhood and what I've learned so far. By no way an expert, so this is just my own experience and yeah, just my advice or just like tips or stuff I've learned along the way for anyone that may want to go into like the journey of motherhood, or anyone who's already a mom, or just like to share, you know, experiences and stories. I generally like really love to share like my motherhood journey and love to hear from other moms about how they experience various things, or like things that they went through, or to find things in common, because sometimes you may feel like, oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming and I'm going through this by myself, and then find that another mom went through the same thing. So it's really helpful to have like community and like a community of moms to like speak to about different various mom topics, if I can say that. Right, so before we jump into it, as I said, yes, life update. We're now a family of 4. I have a baby boy. We were blessed with a baby boy on the 30th of October 2022. He was born at 8:13 a.m. in the morning. So his name is Luca Mabin Mwansakombe, right? So basically, I'm going to go into why we named him Luca Mabin Mwansakombe. So basically, when I do name my babies, I do look for a name that has meaning behind it. So my first little girl, she's now 3 years old. Her name is Lisa. So Lisa means promise of God or oath of God. And why we decided to go for this name is because all of God's promises are good, right? So we decided to name her Lisa because God's promises are good, and Lisa means promise of God. Another reason is because my mom's name is Elizabeth. So Lisa is like a short version of Elizabeth, so it's pretty much like little Elizabeth. Yeah, so in honor of my mom, her middle name is Chabala, so she's Lisa Chabala Kombe. Chabala is my mother-in-law's name, so we took both mothers' names and incorporated them into her name. So she's Lisa Chabala Kombe. So we decided to honor both our mothers by naming her Lisa Chabala Kombe because they're such great moms. So that's my first daughter's name. Then our son is called Luca, L-U-C-A. So Luca has 2 versions to it. It can be either L-U-C-A, and some people spell it as L-U-K-A. So our son is Luca, L-U-C-A. Luca Mabin Mwansakombe. So Luca basically means light or bringer of light. And why we decided to go with this name is because we want our children to be, you know, brought up in a Christian way, and we try to like exemplify Christianity. And basically Luca means bringer of light, right? So as Christians, we're called to be light of the world, so that's why we named him Luca. We thought it was a very beautiful meaning, and that's why his first name is Luca. Then his other names are Mabin and Mwansa. So basically a backstory, before Luca was born, exactly 2 weeks before Luca was born, we sadly lost my father-in-law on the 16th of October. So it was a very tough time for the family. And yeah, me and my husband decided it would be great to honor the memory of my father-in-law by naming our son Mabin Mwansakombe, which was my father-in-law's name. Basically, my father-in-law, may his beautiful soul rest in peace, was such an amazing man. Everyone looked up to him. If you met him, he was such a peaceful man, a godly man, a man that loved his God, a man that loved to serve, a man that was diligent in his work, and he just exemplified everything that we are supposed to, like stand for as Christians on earth. So it's such an honor to have our son named after him. And we just, yeah, hope he like stands on the shoulders of an amazing giant, which was our father-in-law that has passed away. And yeah, we will share like as much as we can about him with Luca as he grows older. And we do hope that he, walks in the footsteps of my late father-in-law. So basically that's where his name came from. Right. So as I speak on motherhood, I want to talk about pretty much like starting from like pregnancy, just snippets of like pregnancy, my own experience, a little bit about labor, not to go into the nitty-gritties, but a bit about labor, my experience with that, and then like early motherhood, like the first few months, and yeah, the early years of motherhood based on what I've experienced so far. So basically, with both my babies, okay, so before I go into that, personally, I've always like ever since I was much younger, not like as a kid, but ever since I was much younger, I had always wanted to be a mom, and like a young mom at a young age. I've always been very attracted to like motherhood and just like having kiddies and bringing up little kids, and I just think it's such a beautiful journey. So I've been blessed in the sense that God has now, like blessed us with two children. I had Lisa when I was 25 years old, and I had Luca when I was 28 years old, just about to turn 29. So just a week before I turned 29, Luca was born. So with our babies, like each time we found out we were pregnant, we started to pray over our children's lives right off the bat. Like even before we got pregnant, we were trusting God to give us children, and we would pray about it and ask God that He would bless us with babies. And as soon as we got pregnant, we'd pray about our babies, about their health as they, develop in my womb, about just me taking care of myself and them being healthy throughout the process of pregnancy, about when they'll come into the world, about the labor experience, that it would go smoothly, about the kind of people they'll be. And we prayed to Christ for different kinds of like qualities we would like to see our children have. Of course, like first and foremost, would like them to be godly offspring. We prayed about that diligently, literally every single day of like pregnancy, from the time we found out we were pregnant with both of them. We prayed about just their life experiences and just different aspects of their personality that we entrusted into God's hands. So yes, disclaimer, we are a Christian family, and we do trust that God has given us Christian offspring. So when it comes to having children, I must say that like children are a gift from God, and as people on earth, God has given us the mandate to go out into the world and multiply, basically. So it is a blessing to have children and to multiply. And the whole reason to multiply is not just to have children and just multiply. It doesn't end there. The reason for us to multiply as Christians is to ensure that Christianity goes on, and that Christian offspring also have Christian offspring, to ensure that we don't see the end of Christianity. I have seen lots of so I was watching a certain TikTok video, and there were these I don't know if I can say a couple, travel blogger couple, and basically they were saying they've decided not to have children because they're enjoying traveling the world and they just want to experience life together, and yeah, they don't want basically their kids to come in the way of that. Yes, sometimes children may be not inconveniencing, but they can come in the way of like certain plans. You can't just be spontaneous and get up with your partner and say we want to travel and go anywhere. There's a whole lot of planning that goes into it. But I think as Christians, as much as travel is a good thing and seeing the world is amazing, we are put on earth to kind of expand the word of God and the gospel. So having godly offspring is for the sake of Christianity to continue. So as a Christian, you should never look at like your life and be, I think it's a bit selfish to kind of say, I just want to experience life by myself or with my partner, and I don't want to, have kids, because God has instructed us to go into the world and multiply. And yeah, sometimes people may feel like I wasn't meant to be a mom, or maybe I just don't have like the natural whole mothering instinct, which I do understand that, and I do respect that. If someone genuinely feels like that, I think I do respect that. But if you do feel that like you could, go ahead with the whole motherhood journey, I really do encourage that you do that. in a Christian manner to, you know, carry on Christianity. Yeah. So now into my own personal experience. So basically, when I would get pregnant, I do make sure that when I'm able to, I try to get some kind of exercise in. So basically, with Lisa, my first trimester, I thought was very tough. I wasn't able to exercise at all because of the morning sickness every single day for the first trimester. But in the second trimester, I was able to start to exercise a little, and with both babies, the exercise that I did do mostly was swimming. I wasn't able to like gym, pretty much like do cardio on the ground or like aerobics classes or treadmill or anything on hard ground in the gym. Swimming I felt was just the safer way to go. Less prone to injuries when you're in water is why I decided to kind of like go the swimming route. And it's also a very like good exercise to do when you're pregnant. You don't really get sore after it, and it works out every part of your body. So for both Luca and Lisa, I did try to swim when I could, and it really did help me stay on my feet throughout the duration of the pregnancy. And I think it did help me a lot throughout labor as well, because labor is very intense. So swimming is what I did for both babies, and I did try to eat clean. So with Lisa, I ate much cleaner, I must admit. More, you know, vegetable, fruit. I was more cautious about what I drank. Yeah, basically what I consumed. With Luca, I wasn't as, you know, as healthy. I did try to be as healthy, but I wasn't as healthy as I was with Lisa. And normally people do say, like, you know, with the first child, you're very careful with everything. I must admit, I was a little more careful during my pregnancy journey with Lisa. With Luca, not as much. I wish I was, but yeah, it is what it is. Thank God that both of them are healthy. Yeah, so that was pretty much a bit about the pregnancy journey. When it came to labor, so with both of them, I did deliver naturally. And I must say, whether you deliver naturally or like through a C-section as a woman, doesn't matter. What really matters is that your baby is happy and healthy, and you as a mom is healthy, is what matters at the end of the day. So I'm not for the whole, I see lots of people, like every time when I meet someone, they're always like, older women especially, always asking me, did you deliver naturally or through C-section? I mean, yeah, some people really have no choice. Like, some people would like to deliver naturally, but then due to maybe like fetal heart rate or high blood pressure, different factors do give them no choice but to have delivery done through C-section. So at the end of the day, what matters is that you do deliver your baby in a healthy manner, and you as a mom are healthy is what matters. At the end of the day, it's not about how the baby came into the world. It's just that the baby is here and they're healthy, and that's what should matter at the end of the day. So please stop making women feel some type of way or feel less than for if they didn't deliver naturally. At the end of the day, what matters is that the baby is healthy. Yeah, so with both babies, I did decide to go and deliver in Ndola, which is where my mom and dad live. So we live in Soloti, but I decided to deliver both babies in Ndola. This is mainly due to the fact that I wanted my mom to be there throughout the labor process. So for two reasons. First of all, my mom, in the spiritual sense, my mom is like a prayer warrior, and she, you know, I wanted to have her in the labor room, standing in the gap for me as I went through labor. Second reason is my mom is like, you know, a midwife. She was a midwife. I think, you know, she doesn't work as a midwife anymore, but I feel like once a nurse and midwife, forever a nurse and midwife. So she's delivered lots of babies in her life. So I did want her to be in the room for kind of like quality control. The staff there who helped me deliver both babies were great and they were brilliant, but I trust my mom's expertise, so I wanted her there just in case of anything. And trust me, her being there did help a lot, because there was times when like they would kind of ask her for her opinion as to how things were progressing during the labor process. So I was very grateful that she was there. I must say, I appreciate my mom so much. Like, I'm forever indebted to her. After going through labor and her being there throughout, praying for me throughout the labor process, interceding on my behalf, and also just being there to give her expertise to the staff that were attending to me during labor. I really like don't know what I could have done without my mom. So thank you, mommy. I love you, and I'm so grateful that, you know, I'm blessed to have you in my life and that you were there for me throughout the two experiences, and I respect her so much. After being through like labor and just like early stages of motherhood, I see what mothers go through, and like there's so much sacrifice that goes into it. So yeah, kudos to mothers. You guys are like the real MVPs, and like I have so much respect for mothers. Yeah, so yeah, that's on that. That's why I delivered from Ndola. Also, I normally, yeah, for both babies, I did spend 2 months at my parents' house after they were born. That was also just to, get the extra help, as well as really get into like the nitty-gritty of the small things that I need to do as a mom, like say from what to do if the baby falls ill, or if the baby is colicky, or just how to bath the baby, the early stages of like heat rash, all those things, like all those little things. Was really helpful to have my mom around to just kind of navigate everything with me. So yeah, those 2 months are really helpful, and when I get back home to my home in Solwezi, I'm like very comfortable and like confident in what I'm doing, because I have been trained by the best of the best. Yeah. So back into labor. So as I was saying, labor, labor, as you've heard, like it's never easy. Both times it was extremely intense. I would say both labor experiences were like probably the toughest thing I've ever had to go through, at once, both like mentally, physically, emotionally, as a person. And when you're going into labor, like before you have your baby, like the months leading up, when people see that you're pregnant, everyone's always like, people always ask, like, are you excited about labor? How are you feeling about it? Especially in your third trimester, people will ask, like, how you feel about labor? Are you excited about it? And I've asked women that as well, who are pregnant, or like friends. And generally, the response is that they're scared or nervous, which definitely I was nervous as well. Like, you hear all these stories and lots of horror stories about labor, and I was definitely nervous about like going into it. But one thing I will tell you, for both babies, with Lisa, even before I had ever like experienced the whole labor thing before, and with Luca as well, even after like experiencing labor with Lisa, one thing I will tell you is that both times I was excited to go into labor. Reason being, and when I do tell people like before I have the baby, like I'm really excited to like, go into labor. Reason being, I think for me, labor is the one time in life where I am completely not in control, which for me is difficult because I'm a person that likes to be in control of every situation. And I guess as humans, like we just want to be in control. With labor, you're completely not in control of anything that's happening. Like anything can go down. Things change very quickly. Anything can happen with your unborn baby. Anything can happen with you as the mom. The staff that are taking care of you, like the nurses and doctors, like, you could get someone who might not be as experienced. Like it's completely out of your control. You know what I mean? So with labor, it's the one time in life where I have to like completely depend on God. And I think it's such a beautiful experience because of that. Like it's complete surrender to God. Like when I'm going into that labor room, I know I will have no control over anything. And it's one of those things where it really puts my faith on the line. And it's just like, Christ, like I surrender every single bit of this experience. Like every second I'm counting on Christ to just show himself strong and come through. And that's why I find labor so exciting, because it's one of those defining moments in life where I'm like, I completely surrendered and God came through, So that's why when I tell people I'm really excited about it, like I'm looking forward to it, sometimes people are like, you're crazy. And the reason being is because I have moments where I completely surrender and I have no control. And it's beautiful when the baby comes out eventually, and it's just like Christ was with me every second of the way, and I practiced complete dependence. So that's basically why why I'm always so excited going into labor, because it's one of those defining moments in my faith where I had no control. I gave everything up to Christ, and I was completely dependent on Christ. And in labor, normally, like lots of women are like, did you insult your husband? Like you were screaming, did you insult? Did this and that happen? And I believe like as the Bible says, like from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, right? With labor, both times, each time I would be like, screaming or going through the absolute most. I would be screaming, but I'll be screaming Christ's name. And for me, yeah, you know, I guess it's different for everyone, and I'm not even like judging what women may go through or say in any shape or form. But for me, in that moment, like I have never, you know, like had to cuss or insult my husband. If anything, I just wanted him by my side throughout the whole experience. But the complete dependence on God was even, you know, like verbally, whenever it would be so intense and so painful and excruciatingly painful. And whenever I'd feel like I can't do this anymore, I'd really, you know, just like, Lord help me, like scream to God, like, Lord help me, I need you, like I can't do this. Like if I can't even speak, I'll just be shouting God's name the whole time, just shouting God's name. And you know, that was me during labor, and really God did, you know, come through for me both times. And yeah, thank God for safe delivery. So that was labor. And then jumping into the first few months with the baby, can I say like the newborn stage, like first few months, these first few months are really tough. And sometimes you will feel as though the first few months may even be tougher than labor, because the sleep deprivation to start is like, it's really a mental challenge. And this is a period where some women may fall into postpartum depression, because it just stretches you in ways you've never been stretched before. So the first 3 months can be really tough. I would say with Lisa, my first 3 months were tougher than with Luca. Reason being, Lisa wouldn't sleep till like 5 a.m. for most nights. And it's not like she's not sleeping and like we're chilling and cuddling. It's like she's not sleeping till 5 a.m. and she's crying and screaming. And imagine like you haven't had much sleep throughout the day, and then throughout the night till 5 a.m. you're like rocking, walking around the house, rocking this crying baby who's just like screaming. So that was really tough. With Luca, his I would say more of a peaceful baby. He doesn't cry as much at night. He actually sleeps through most of the night. I hope I haven't jinxed it, but so far, you know, so good. He wakes up like every 2 hours to feed and then have a diaper change and then right back to sleep. So we've had it, I can say, easier with Luca. And you know, it's just crazy how like babies are so different, and just like as humans we're so different. Like you could have children born from the same parents but be extremely different from each other. So even with their personalities, we can see from a young age that like they're very different. The way they are as babies, where Lisa was and Luca is as a baby, completely different from each other. And that's such a beautiful thing, like the, you know, like uniqueness in personality. I love it, and I'm here for it. Like it's very beautiful. So yeah, first 3 months can be really tough as a mom. So for us, I think with Luca, the tough part comes in that we now have two little kids. So it's kind of how to navigate having two now, being a family of four, how to show equal attention to Lisa. It's very easy to kind of gravitate to the baby that may, you know, like need more attention. But I do feel that like the toddler also needs a lot of attention at this point, because their little feelings are kind of like, okay, there's this new child that's taking the attention away from me. And we don't want her to feel resentful in any way towards the new baby. So we do try kind of split our attention. Like if I'm with Luca, once I'll be with Lisa, and if I'm with Lisa, he'll be with the baby. So we do kind of try our best to ensure that at each moment there's a parent with her. It's always not always 50-50. It's not possible to always be like 50-50 split of attention, but we do really try our best to, you know, make sure she feels included. And other ways in which I kind of like make sure she feels included in the whole process is maybe like during diaper changes, I ask her to get the diapers for me and the wipes, or join us during like, you know, bath time. Like she'll be there singing to him, or maybe if he's like crying, I'll ask her to come sing a song to him. And he, you know, like he's obsessed with his sister. Like it's so cute. He loves his sister. So like whenever say Luca starts to cry, like Lisa will be the first one, let me know, oh mommy, Luca's crying, and then she'll go to him and sing to him. And most times like he will stop, and if she's doing anything, he's just so amazed by her. I think it's just like, who is this cool little human who's like jumping around and doing all these things that I can't do? So he's always like watching her like with awe in his eyes. Like yeah, it's so cute. Like the relationship is so cute. They love each other, and I love that for them. You know, yeah. So that's like the first few months. What I'd say from a mom point of view, it's really tough. And I'd firstly advise that if you're going through this whole like first few months of being a mom, don't try to do everything by yourself. Get as much help as possible. This whole experience of like being a new mom twice has taught me, um firstly, I have so much respect for single moms. Like, shout out to single moms. I'm not sure how they do it, but they do it, and I'm so, so respectful of single moms, because having a partner has helped a lot, like to relieve all the like strain of taking care of a baby. So yeah, I respect single moms. And I would say, even if you're a single mom or if you're a mom with a partner, get as much help as possible. So this could be help from a relative, help from a nanny. Please don't try to do everything by yourself. You're going to burn out, and when you burn out, you won't be the best version for your new baby. Your new baby needs you to be like happy and healthy. And babies can sense like my mom is cranky or like not in the best mood. Babies can sense these things, and we may think they're babies, they can't tell. They can like sense energy, and they can tell energy. So to be in the best version, to be the best version for your new baby and for your kids, basically, get as much help as you can. And what this does for you is that it allows you like moments of rest, moments to do things that you enjoy and that make you feel like yourself. Because if you are doing everything by yourself, you can find that even just the smallest things, such as brushing your teeth, may not happen till like after midday. It may seem crazy, but like having a baby who's a newborn can get so crazy, and you only realize maybe like after midday you haven't even brushed your teeth. You may only be having a shower at the end of the day. So it's really important that you do get help to help you like continue with normal life, So like get as much as help as possible. Have a shower, have some nice breakfast, have a cup of tea. Just like the small things that make you feel sane, you know what I mean? Take time out, read a chapter of a book, like hand over the baby to someone who can help you. Read a book. If the baby is sleeping, yeah, try and rest as much as possible when the baby rests. I know everyone's like, they say rest when the baby rests, and it's not possible. If you can do it, if you can get help with like someone washing the baby stuff, do that. And someone doing all like the baby chores for you, please do that. But don't try and take everything on yourself. Like, you're going to burn out, and then you might fall into like postpartum depression. Sometimes postpartum depression just comes about even though you do have help, because of all the hormonal changes. So it's not always just due to burnout, sometimes due to hormonal changes. So sometimes it really is out of your control. But if you do feel yourself like falling into maybe feeling resentful towards your baby, or feeling like you're just falling apart and can't cope completely, please, as soon as you can, speak to someone and get professional help. It's really important that as soon as you notice the signs of PPD coming in, you seek professional help as soon as possible. But whether you are falling into this or not, it's important that you do get as much help as possible. If you can, get as much help as possible. Get people to help you with meals if you can, for the family, to help you with taking care of the baby so that you can do things that you enjoy. For me, one thing that was really important for me is that after the 6-week period after you deliver, a really important thing to me was that I got back into like light exercises. Working out or exercise is like a big part of my life. So it was really important that I got back into this, because it makes me feel more like myself. It's a big part of who I am. So I did make it a point that I did get back into this after 6 weeks. So yeah, the nanny would come in the morning, I would do the motherly duties, hand over the baby, head to the gym, do a quick workout, be back. But that would make my day run much smoother. So whatever it is that makes you feel more like yourself, or makes you feel more human or sane, please do that. So that's what I would advise for the first few months of having a baby. And if you do have a partner, please continue to communicate how you're feeling. Continue to communicate where you may need help. You're equal partners. Don't try to take on the whole burden on yourself. You're both parents to this new baby. So make sure that you are sharing your tasks and responsibilities equally, that you're communicating what you're feeling, that you are sharing what you're feeling towards each other as well, so things won't be the same after you have babies. The dynamics of your relationship will change, seasons will keep changing, it will get tougher to spend time together. I would advise that you do prioritize spending time together. Like, continue to have your date nights or date days whenever you can. When the baby is a little older, you can leave the baby for like 2 hours with someone, a nanny, a caregiver, or a parent or grandparent. hand over the baby, and like do a little date together. Like you need that time together to just rekindle, your flame, like keep the relationship thriving, because it is very easy to go lots of months and realize that you haven't spent any moment with just the two of you, and it's all been just about the baby, and you've kind of like grown apart. So it's important that even though this new little human comes into your lives, you continue to like nourish and feed your relationship, because at the end of the day, whether there's babies or not, you still be married. So, and these kiddies will move out of your home one day. You don't want to spend all your years taking care of your kids, and your kids go off to university and start their own lives, and you realize like you have no relationship with your partner because you didn't nurture it. So make sure that your relationship with your partner is like your P1, and you nurture this as much as you can, because before, like when you got married, whether there was going to be kids or not, your relationship is what matters most at the end of the day. So yeah, that should be priority. So make sure you continue to communicate what you're feeling, what you're going through. Continue to prioritize like time together without the kids, and as much as you can, like, yeah, continue to talk about different things when you go out together. Don't make the conversation just about the kids. Continue to talk about yourselves, what you're feeling, your goals, your aspirations, your dreams, and just what you want for yourselves, basically. So it's really important that you continue to nurture a relationship, even though these new little humans come into your lives, especially in the first year of having your babies. So it's really important that your partner is like playing an equal role, that they're being an equal partner. And yeah, I'm so grateful that my husband, is really, really hands-on with the baby. At night, like when the baby wakes up to feed, if he doesn't go to sleep immediately, like he'll take the baby out of the room and rock the baby back to sleep. So after I feed the baby, I can get back to sleep. During weekends, he will ask me like, do you need to do anything? Do you want to go out somewhere? Do you want to go for lunch with a friend or anything like that? I can stay with the kids. So that has been really helpful, and because of that, like I've had a really good time. I can't even complain. Like I've had such a great time with the whole motherhood journey because of my partner. So thank you so much, baby. I appreciate you, and I really couldn't have done it without you by my side. So I'm so grateful for that. And yeah, thank you, God, for blessing me with such a great spouse. Yeah. So that's like the first few months of motherhood, and then yeah, showing equal attention to the older kid is very important. What I would say, I don't want to make this video too long, so I may do a part 2, but what I would say is that in each moment, it's important to keep asking God for grace in each moment to, bring up your children in the way that He would want them to be brought up, to continue to pray for them even after they've come, because sometimes we may have the safe delivery and the babies are fine and they come through, and then we forget to pray completely. But it's even more important now that they're in the world that we continue to pray for them, because there's so many moments now that are out of our control. Sometimes we may feel like when they're in the womb they're safer, and once they're out, like we have no control over some moments. Like maybe you leave the baby with the nanny, you may have to go back to work, and you just feel like you have no control. At the end of the day, it's God that takes care of our children. So it's really important that we are surrendering each and every moment of our baby's days into God's hands, so that He's completely taking care of them, keeping them safe, keeping them healthy, taking care of them, because it can be scary. And babies and kids have so many infections. Like anything that may come by, they'll get a little infection, they'll get a little skin irritation. Like it's just a whole whirlwind of one infection after the other. And it's really important that in all these moments we trust God will take care of our babies and will heal them and will keep them healthy. So it's really important that we are praying for our babies and praying in front of our kids as well. Our kids really do see what we're doing, and they really do like copy what we do. And I can say this especially with our first one, Lisa. Like from a young age, from things that I'll do, I'll notice that should be copying what I'm doing, and even just like portraying kindness in front of them, and just like different aspects of the fruit of the spirit. Our children really do see these things, and they really do notice things. And I'll just give a little story. Like recently, our nanny came home in the morning, and my daughter Lisa, she's 3, and she's like, "Good morning, Auntie Karen." And Karen's like, "Good morning, Lisa." And then Lisa's like, "How's your home?" And I was just like, wow, like that moment really took me aback. Like Lisa genuinely asked the nanny, like, how's things at home, you know what I mean? And where did she pick that from? Like she probably got it from me and my husband. So it's really important that we really, do things that are portraying like kindness and patience and love towards our babies, because they do see these things and they do copy everything that we do. So yeah, that's what I'd say about, you know, early motherhood. So yeah, during before you become a mom, when you plan to become a mom, pray about it, trust God to bless you with these babies, because it is God's will that we multiply. So pray that God will trust you, bless you with babies. During the journey of pregnancy, as a mom, please do keep healthy, exercise when you can. Of course, when you can't, there are times when some mothers can't at all because the pregnancy is so tough. So listen to your body is what I would advise, and do what you can. Don't like overexert yourself. Do what you can, and you know, according to what your doctor says you can, like the limits of what you can do at the point. During labor, please do like completely trust God with every second of the labor experience. I promise you, it is beautiful looking back at it. And you know, you will experience complete surrender if you do like commit everything to Christ. First few months, get as much help as you can. Please do the things that you love. Continue to do the little things that you love. It may not be big things. It could be things like having a nice longish bath. It could be things like making yourself a nice breakfast. But don't neglect yourself. Don't neglect yourself as a mom. Continue to do the things that you love. And if you have a partner, continue to communicate what you're feeling with your partner and prioritize time with your partner. And then first few years with your babies, continue to, you know, portray the fruit of the spirit. Your babies are watching everything you do. You're like their prime example, and most of the time they will be at home with you, so they'll be looking up to you as, you know, the example of everything. And you know, the early foundational years are really important, so please do set a good example for your kiddies. And most important thing, I was reading this thing that says the language of children is play. You may get like all the lavish things for your kids, like the new toys and the latest this and the latest that, or the designer this and designer that. Your kids don't really care about all that. What your kids care about is that you spend time with them and you play with them. So please do, you know, prioritize time with your babies. Play with them. Be goofy. Get down on your knees. Play with them. Sit on the ground. Get dirty with them. They love this and they'll appreciate that, and that's how your kids, you know, experience love and feel love from you as a parent. So continue to, you know, play with your kiddies when at the age where they can play, and continue to show love, and by showing love they will feel loved and they'll be able to show love to others. So yes, that's what I had on motherhood today. I may make a part 2. I kind of had to rush through the points because I noticed time was going. But yeah, motherhood is such a beautiful journey. I love it. And yeah, if you're thinking to embark into like the motherhood journey, if you're already in the motherhood journey, please do leave your comments of your experiences down below, or what you hope for and what you hope God to bless you with. But you know, I wish everyone the best, and yeah, that's my, you know, 2 cents of motherhood. So thank you so much for listening. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and please do subscribe to my channel. If you think this video will help someone, please do go ahead and share it. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.